Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch with a special vacation edition of What's Unreal giving away this month. That's right, Epic Games every month give away a bunch of content, and it's given away on a monthly basis. You have to buy it during that month, but once you've bought it for $0, it's yours forever. Now the question that always comes up is, can I use this stuff in non-Unreal Engine games? And generally the answer is, as long as it wasn't provided by Epic Mega Games, yes you can, but a lot of times it's very Unreal specific, so it's of very little use anyways, outside of Unreal Engine. But if you are an Unreal Engine developer, Christmas comes early every single month. This month's list is a little special. It's kind of very focused in scope. There's a really weird allotment of stuff there, but without further ado, let us jump in. Now, a bit of a reminder, this is a vacation edition, so if the sound's a little bad, I don't have control over the environment that I'm in. There's fans going on and all that stuff. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. So let's jump in and take a look at what we get this month. So first off, we get this, what is it called? The Ability Pack Time and Space. And you can see the list of things it can do right here. Slow time, freeze time, reverse time, speed force, invisibility, dash, recall, and teleport. So if you've got a time-based mechanic in your game, this component will help you with it. Now, the unfortunate thing is this store page is kind of trash, so it doesn't actually tell you what is in it. So you want, there's a video kind of showcasing how it works, but I got no idea of what this is actually made of. I'm assuming it's a number of different blueprints. Normally it tells you. This one, it doesn't actually say anything. Another thing to keep in mind is when it says supported development platforms, that isn't always the case. That just means that is the platform that that developer actually trialed it on. Once again, if you are interested in grabbing this stuff, assuming you are logged in, you basically just come in. You'll notice it is $0. Sign in to buy. It is yours. You can also do this through the Epic Games Launcher if that is your preference. All right, so that is the first piece of content out of the way. The next one we've got, as again, is very specific. This one is all about Android. So this is for exposing Android's native UI controls and features in your game. So if you're making a game for Unreal, but you wanted to have some very Android-specific content in it, that is what this guy is all about. It provides a way to interact with Android native functionality. Of course, what you do here is only going to work on Android, so it is definitely a double-edged sword, but it just gives you access to the native UI instead of having to use the cross-platform stuff. You push notifications, texts, timers, alarms, camera, and so on. So if you are developing an Android game, this one is a definite boon. If you are not developing for Android, this one is absolutely and utterly useless to you. And if you're developing cross-platform, just be aware of what you're doing here, because everything you're doing here, you're going to have to re-implement for your other platforms as well. But if you're working specifically on Android platform, this is definitely a nice little library. But as I said, the content here is very niche in focus this month. Next up, we have the FPS Assault Pack. Now, this one is about as straightforward as it gets. It's guns, 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 and more guns. So you've got, AR-15s, you got Kalashnikovs, AKs, same thing. But so on. So we got 10 meshes, includes a set of arms, 3 attachments, 2 bullets, 2 assault rifles, 2 rigged versions with all attachments, a number of different textures, and so on. So this one is very, very straightforward. It's guns. Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward there. Next up, we've got the Phoenix. I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's meant to be Phoenix. The Phoenix Animations Pack 3. Now, this one is it's an animation pack of some of the weirdest stuff that you've ever thought of, like using your hands to use your phone. That's the kind of stuff here. This pack contains 17 animations for epic skeletons, which include swimming, idle, swimming on the surface, and underwater swimming animations, typing on a keyboard, using handheld touch devices sitting, using handheld touch devices standing, and using touchscreen computers sitting animation. So if you need people to be using their computers or their phones in your game, or swimming, or maybe through blends, swimming while using their phone, this one is ideal for you. It is a set of 17 animations. Now again, this is in Epic format, so this isn't going to be much use outside unless you export it out yourself. And then the final one we've got is, and this is like, this is a really bad choice of font and color and everything else, but this is the Architectural Visualization Toolkit, fully blueprint, no C++, no plugin, or the Ultimate ArchViz Kit. Now, ArchViz, which stands for Architectural Visualization, this is all about using your game engine for doing things like real estate tours or conceptualization of how a building is going to look. And this kind of functionality is actually getting more and more prevalent in Unreal Engine with each release. The last one, 4.24, kind of merged in all of their ArchViz, industrialization, manufacturing, and so on functionality into the core of Unreal Engine, and this plugin kind of extends upon it. So there are 4 types of options available, and you can add 1 or more on an object. Color, material, mesh, and decal are the main options. Project is fully built in blueprints. You don't need C++ or other plugins. Add unlimited number of options to your object. Add to any existing project without any change. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it just keeps kind of going. So basically, this is all about ArchViz improvements to Unreal Engine. Again, if you're not really working in that space, if you're in game development, this one is, again, quite niche, probably not something you're going to be using. There is an Epic's demo room content, so you can actually check it out, but you can't actually use that for anything other than demonstrative purposes, so do be aware of that. And that is this month's free for this month content. So once again, you have to get it before the first Tuesday of next month, or it will no longer be free. But once you have purchased it, it is yours forever. And then speaking of forever, there is one piece of forever content in this particular release. That is Linter V2. And we are talking about specialization. This one is specialized. This one is a linting program. A linter is like a piece of code that runs through your code to make sure it is compliant with a number of criterion. And this one is you can scan your content for potential issues and inconsistency, style, conformity, and it conforms with the Unreal Engine Marketplace guidelines. So if you want to create content that you're going to publish on the Unreal Engine Marketplace, you can use Linter 2 to scan it, and it will tell you if your code is Unreal Marketplace compliant or not. Like I said, that one is a very specialized tool for sure, but that is currently free forever. You can build your own lint rules also in either Blueprint or C++. However, C++ is currently recommended. Now, I do also recommend on the same time, you can use this for just the Unreal Engine store, but you can also use it just for linting your code. So it doesn't necessarily just mean for Unreal Engine publishing. And then one final thing, not really linked to any of this, but another piece of news, is there is currently a 50% off flash sale going on the marketplace through March the 6th. So you've got 3 days on that one. You can take 50% off hundreds of select Unreal Engine Marketplace items during the sale. So take a look at the store. There's hundreds of things that are currently 50% off. So if you're interested in getting something that hasn't been given away already or isn't part of this month's content, do check it out. It might be available for 50% off. I will link that in the linked article down below along with everything else. So again, another month of free stuff from Unreal, the gift that keeps on giving. This month, in all honesty, there's not a lot there for me. It's an interesting one. I could see that Android pack being just an absolute boon for certain people, but when I go through this list, this one's interesting. It's probably the most interesting is this time manipulation, the time and space pack. And next up, the Android native goodies is definitely the best one if you're working in this niche. If you need Android native support, this one is actually pretty awesome, but it does have a couple of downsides for sure in using it, in that you have to replicate that functionality for every other platform as well. We got the FPS Assault Pack. That one's, again, incredibly straightforward. We've got the animation pack with a lot of interesting touchscreen animations going on. And then finally, we have this ArchViz stuff, which if you're not in ArchViz, obviously isn't really that overwhelmingly useful to you. And then finally, we have the linter that is available for all. But again, none of that looks appealing to you. Do be sure to check out the 50% off sale, so maybe you'll find something in the flash sale. And let me know what you thought of this pack in general. I ask this at the end of every single one of these. Is Unreal's constant giveaways kind of tempting you towards the Unreal side of things, or are you already on the Unreal side of things, or you just don't care? Myself, I hoard them. I buy these every month, buy again in air quotes, because hey, who knows when you're going to need some of this stuff, and free is free, and I'm a digital hoarder. Are you the same? Let me know in comments down below. Talk to you all later. Goodbye.